Hey, we're back. No ground rods today. Keeping it inside the garage here. Playing around with another primary. Purely by chance ended up opposite wound of this primary. But they're both in parallel. So they're the hairpin inductors that you see here. L1 and this one, L3. Instead of center tapping the ground before, this time I center tapped the primary here and took it into the bottom of the secondary inside of it, and I have the two tertiaries on top there. In addition to that new opposite wound one I wound, and the secondary for it hooked to the earth ground. So that's the only earth ground is on the bottom of the secondary of the second primary, in parallel with the primary off of it as the hairpin inductance. So we've effectively perhaps doubled the inductance. I don't know. I noticed something interesting I was running that ignition transformer off of in place of this primary. So previously it had it in parallel there too, and it added a whole bunch of inductance, and I noticed all this extra inductance, I was seeing a lot higher current manifestation. So some decent orange and red arcs are coming off of the secondary on that. So then I ended up hooking the bottom of this secondary to the center tap of the primary. Now keep in mind that I'm only using one here because the other one died a horrible death thanks to a HV bridge rectifier ground rod attempt. Anyway, they're current limited because it's a mini NST ballast. Current limited to 30 milliamps. 30 milliamp, 5,000 volt. Well, upon hooking that center tap there to this coil here, watch what happens. Hold on. I'm going to turn it on now. And if you notice the arcs off of the hairpin inductor, nice bright white arc. Definitely not any orange or red in there. But when we get even down here at the bottom of the secondary there, but as I climb up through the tertiary, look at this current that starts to be available here. See that? When I go way up here, look at that. Please zoom in here. That's coming out, but it's a really strong orange and red arc. There's a lot of things. Yeah, nothing seems to be getting excessively hot either. Anyway, nothing seems to be getting excessively hot here. The transformer is a little warm, no more than room temperature. From being out here for at least an hour or so playing with it. This is really, really wild current magnitude amplification that starts happening when I hook this center tap on here. Nothing doesn't happen at all when that's not hooked to there. So I'm getting a really wild. It's possible the alternate impulses from this hairpin driver circuit here with the magnetic gap before the capacitances is causing some kind of push-pull effect on this primary, and the center being perhaps the 0 point allows massive current amplification through the tertiaries. It doesn't exist down here, not down here, not arcing off of this coil. Only until we get to the tertiary does it start building up, and then up to this point it's very strong, and there's a somewhat larger amount available at the top. How's all that current possible from a current limited 30 milliamp transformer and 3 nanofarads of reactance? This doesn't really have anything to do with it. It happens. The effect still happens without it.